Tripp Stelnicki. Give it up for Tripp Stelnicki, everybody. Keep it going for your previous comic, everybody. All right, that's enough. Back to me. So, how are you guys? You guys okay? Back to me. Enough about... I was just in Denver. You guys have heard of it. When I was in Denver, yeah, back to me. What? Colorado Springs. Okay, all right. So I was in Denver. Some cities are near other cities. All right, we're starting off hot. Geography lessons. So I was in Denver. I'm never even gonna get this joke out. I was in Denver, and when I was in Denver, I told people I was doing comedy. I was like, I came up from New Mexico. And one guy was like, you came up from New Mexico? Do you guys have good cocaine in New Mexico? I was like, is there a guy behind me who looks like he would know the answer to that question? Was it the mom genes? Was it the... You're like, that guy looks like Ray Romano's shitty nephew. I bet he knows about... I've been up here for 30 seconds. Everybody in this room already knows I'm not the cocaine guy. That's how first impressions work. If anybody in here is looking for cocaine tonight, the second I came on stage, your brain was like, not him. I mean, maybe the next comic. I don't know. You can't ask me about hard drugs. I mean, you can. It's not going to be effective. You can come up to me and be like, hey, you know where I can get some of those good crossword puzzles? Like, you can ask me that. I can help you out with that. I'm not the hard drug guy. I'm the kind of guy who did mushrooms once 10 years ago, and I still tell the story, even though no one has ever wanted to hear your story about how you did mushrooms 10 years ago. I don't even want to hear your story about how you're doing mushrooms right now. Let me guess. It's crazy. The end. My girlfriend smokes weed, that's what she's into. She grew up in a weed family, do you know what I mean? That's what they did in her house growing up. She smokes weed with her mom, her siblings, they smoked weed, they were a weed family. Which is cool, because I grew up in a gin and tonic family. Very different energy, yeah. A weed family is like cool and chill and curious about the world. A gin and tonic family is none of those things at all. Gin and tonic family isn't curious about the world. Gin and tonic family isn't curious about shit. The only questions that get asked in a gin and tonic household are, what's the matter with you? And why would you go all the way to the kitchen without bringing me another gin and tonic? What's the matter with you? That's both of them, that's a combo. Bonus. Double bonus if you hear it on a weeknight. The gin and tonic is the official drink of having a problem. Because when you order a gin and tonic, what you're saying is, I wish I was drinking straight gin. But every time I do that, you guys end up calling the police. So I guess throw a little tonic in there. For you. The tonic is for you. I want to taste the gin and your fear. That's... Gin and tonic is just gin, tonic, a little fear. No fruit, no garnish in a gin and tonic. There's no garnish in a gin and tonic, but it should come with a little red flag, I think. That would be cute and effective. I told that joke one night and a guy came up to me, he was like, it could be worse, man. I grew up in a Long Island iced tea family. I was like, sir, I don't think you grew up in a family. I think you grew up in a frat house. And you're entitled to government compensation. That's fucked up. So yeah, my name is Tripp. T-R-I-P-P. That's a ridiculous name, I know. If you've never met a Tripp, this is what we all look like. Not a lot of Pacific Islander Tripps floating around out there. My name is Tripp, but I won't fight you on it. If you call me something different, I'll just let it happen. It's easy. I wasn't raised in a Chardonnay household. I'm not gonna make a fuss, you know? People get it wrong all the time. I'll be like, my name is Tripp. They'll be like, nice to meet you, Jim. And I'm like, that does make more sense. Let's move forward with the conversation. It does get me in trouble socially sometimes, though. So I'll tell you guys a quick story. Set the scene. So this was like 10 years ago, right? And I was doing a ton of mushrooms. And remember when I said that earlier? It was funny, yeah. Less funny now that I'm drawing attention to it. And so I was at a party, right? And I introduced myself. You know how you introduce yourself? I was like, my name is Tripp. But the guy heard tip. That was a new one. Like the tip of a pen. Or like what a baby boomer doesn't give a waitress, right? Tip. We live in a divided country. It's very serious. And I was like, okay, I'm tipped now. I can be tipped for a conversation. This is how I live my life. The problem was this guy was the host of the party. And he was being a good host. So like 20 minutes go by, he introduced me to like 50 people who now know me as Tip, I was like, this is an opportunity. I'm gonna walk through this door and start fresh as Tip. I'm gonna try being, I was walking around the party trying on Tip. I was like, yeah, pour me another gin and tonic, fuck yeah. No, we don't have good cocaine in New Mexico, but I am the guy to ask, yeah. I do look like Ray Romano's most successful nephew. Why wouldn't I say that? Why wouldn't I? I'm trying on Tip, but then, and this is a true story, it got out of hand. A guy came up to me, and he was like, you're Tip, right? And I was like, damn straight, yeah. Here's my business card, it says Tripp, they fucked it up, it's Tip, you know it's Tip. And he was like, I love the name Tip, it reminds me of Tip O'Neill. You ever heard of him? He was a politician in the Bill Clinton years. Tip O'Neill, from the great state of Massachusetts. Yeah, he was a Speaker of the House, Bill Clinton years, Tip O'Neill, Speaker of the House, state of Massachusetts. I was like, what the fuck is happening right now? And I never do this. I was like, dude, I hate to correct you. I literally never correct people. But Tip O'Neill was from Illinois, and I told my therapist that story. She canceled my next appointment. I found out she stopped doing therapy. She opened a plant nursery. I called her up, I was like, is this about me? She was like, for once. Why are you guys owing? It's fucking comedy. You're here to laugh. We're laughing, it's not sad. My therapist is a woman. My therapist is a woman. I shouldn't say it that way. That's like when a Republican is like, I have a daughter, and you're like, I bet she's having a great week. My therapist is a woman, and I like it because it's practical. Having a woman therapist is great. It's like a dress rehearsal for your girlfriend. It's awesome. My girlfriend thinks I'm a great communicator. How could I not be? I'm paying another woman to listen to all the first draft shit. In therapy, I sound like this. Then I go home and I'm like, soft, what light through yonder window breaks? I don't know if we should have kids. It is the East and Juliet. My girlfriend's like, yay! Keep going. I'm like, I don't know the rest. I haven't had enough therapy. I don't know how it goes. I love my girlfriend. I love her. She's great. But there's a but. So you guys know how Google works, right? You guys know Google. You type it in and there it is, and that's how life is, right? So my girlfriend, and she's great. What she does is she goes to the search bar, right? And where you would just type it in. But she goes to this search bar, and she's awesome. She types in www.google.com. And she's fine. So, and then she arrives at the Google homepage, which there are people who work for Google who don't go to the Google homepage. When you go to the Google homepage, Google's like, are you sure? And then she's like, yes. And then she navigates to, and I've met her parents, and she goes to the search bar, and on the homepage, same search bar, on the homepage, then she types, do you feel how long this is taking? This is what it's like in my household. When I'm like, is that Vietnamese place open on Mondays, honey? She's like, I'm on it. It'd be faster to go to Vietnam. It'd be faster to win a war in Vietnam. It seems like a small thing to make a big deal out of, I know. But knowing how to use the internet is important. That's how, if this was 100 years ago, and I was like, oh man, guys, my wife doesn't know how to shoe a horse. You'd be like, well, goddamn, throw her in the river. What do you need her for? The horse is warm? I mean, these were olden times. I don't know how they talked. It's bad living with someone who doesn't. I'd rather be dating a Republican than because say what you will, but Republicans know how to Google. They're very good. They Google all kinds of things. Shitty podcasts. How to make transgender teenagers feel even worse. Oh look, a Dave Chappelle video. Oh, he's the only one of them that I like. And I don't mean comedians. Isn't that funny that Dave Chappelle got rich and now he hates trans people? I've never heard of a poor person who has a problem with trans. I've never heard someone be like, I hate trans people and paying rent. That doesn't... It's like you get so much money and now you just have to start making problems up. Dave Chappelle, J.K. Rowling has more money than God. She could just shut the fuck up forever. And instead, every day, all day, she goes online and is like, you know who shouldn't have any rights? And we're all like, Slytherins? She's like, no! And we're like, damn, I thought today it might be Slytherins. She's like, and by the way, Ron Weasley was a Capricorn. Oh, shut the fuck up! Tell her to shut the fuck up! I don't know how to talk to kids, so I don't know how. I don't know what you say to them. You know, I'm 30. I should know how to talk to kids, but they're just there and they're smiling, and I'm like, yeah. So Tip O'Neill was from the great state of Illinois. You heard of that? Okay, we're done here. I don't have a lot else. You know. There's no role models for how to talk to kids. Like, I was watching Willy Wonka recently, the original, obviously. And there's this moment, it's striking, I had forgotten about this, where some kid is talking, and Willy Wonka just all of a sudden gets down on his level and is like, open your mouth a little wider when you speak. And I was like, that's how you talk to a kid. That's direct, make him feel a little bad, you know? No nonsense. Then in the next scene, Willy Wonka murdered that kid, so I was like, there's no nonsense. Can't do that. I don't know how to talk to kids. I'm walking around in the world, there's moms who are just like, yeah, is that what you want? Yeah. I'm just like, suck your son's dick already, will ya? You're ruining my Ross Dress for Less shopping experience with your gross foreplay. Just get it on. I don't know how to talk to kids. So I got these two nieces, and they're 5 and 2. 5 and 2. And they're not really my nieces, they're my girlfriend's nieces, but I'm unemployed, so I need something to do. So I'm like, I got nieces now, you know? And they're cute, but they say things, they love me, and I don't trust that. That's why, because I was raised Catholic, so I know no one really loves me, you know? They'll be like, Tripp, we love you, and I'm like, what's the fucking catch? And they'll be like, can we have some more juice? And I'm like, there it is. It's always something, these transactional bitches, unbelievable. The 5-year-old, they get to an age like the 5-year-old, they're so cute, but the 5-year-old's almost a person, you know? She has like she'll say weird sideways stuff, you know? It's like, I'm like, is this passive aggressive? Are we playing a game here? What the hell? You know, like, so I was talking to her recently and I was like, I'm tired, because I don't know how to talk to kids. I was like, you know how life is hard? I'm tired. You're 5. And she was like, why are you tired? It's not nighttime. And I was like, actually, sometimes I go to bed before it's nighttime. And she was like, I thought you tell jokes in the nighttime. And I was like, bitch. Did you say that? Because you can tell I'm self-conscious about not working hard enough at comedy, and this is your weird passive-aggressive way of letting me know that you know that. She was like, you're silly. But as long as you're not taking your goals seriously, why don't you go get me some more fucking juice? Yes, ma'am. Hey, guys, I've been Tip O'Neill from the great state of Illinois. Keep it going for your host, Nick.